Well, a couple of things on that that I should mention. Llano is Region 4 for football, and as Jennifer says, Llano likes that. Region 1 for basketball, volleyball, the other sports. And so we're in the same position as you are.
Yeah.
But when this has happened to us on a couple of other cycles, this Region 1 business, and the first thing some parents would say is, oh my goodness, come region finals, semifinals, we've got to travel so far. And I wanted to say to those nice folks, listen, let's make it to region first before worrying about the travel.
Hey, and you're right. The one thing that you and I have always agreed on is if teams feel like they're going to win, they'll drive hours for a win. You're right about that.
Or if the game is that important that you've done that well, I don't think they'll mind driving the distance. But 4.5 hours, that is a healthy trip.
Well, like you said, the first part is you got to qualify for the playoffs before I can talk about windshield time and driving for the playoffs. Let's make sure we qualify first. Did you like your districts, both the football and the non-football?
Absolutely. No complaint by me at all. And with as I mentioned, the number of kids coming back, I think Llano will do fine. And we're glad to be 3A for a second consecutive cycle. And as Jennifer mentioned, when we found out the numbers, you said that was in October?
Yeah, well, the snapshot numbers were turned in October.
Yes.
The UIL released the cutoff numbers in December. So we knew at that point which schools were going to go in which classifications, and then the district members and the realignment was announced in February.
And Llano's cutoff number was 544, and the Jackets weren't getting anywhere near that. So we felt good going in also to the official announcement in early February.
Yeah. I think Marble Falls turned in right around 1,100, and Burnett turned in just under 1,000. But I can't remember that. When we reported that 5 months ago, I've slept a lot since then. So
it's interesting. It's interesting about Burnett, and some of the folks could there know more about it than I do. But in around 04 is when they built the new high school and projected on increase in number of students. And do you know, under 900, that's not too far from what Burnett has been for a long, long time.
Yes. We'll get into this a little bit here. I remember when Burnett, because when I came back, Burnett was in 5A. What is now 5A? Back then it was 4A, 3A.
Yes.
And back then there were only 5 total classifications with the UIL. Now there are 6. Burnett, the coaches told me privately they were losing their upperclassmen because these upperclassmen could not qualify for the playoffs. And back then the district was New Braunfels High, New Braunfels Canyon, Dripping Springs, Lake Travis, Burnett, and Marble Falls. And that was a killer district.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was when I first got back 16 years ago. Well, when Burnett dropped a classification, all of a sudden, those underclassmen became upperclassmen, and they stayed. And then that allowed the underclassmen to develop at a pace that was more suited for them. Whereas when Burnett was in the bigger classification, because the upperclassmen were quitting, the underclassmen had to take those varsity and JV spots because you got to fill the varsity, right? Well, that helped them build what they have now, which is a healthy program that makes the playoffs year in and year out in every single sport. That's what I'm hoping happens with Marble Falls. I got an email earlier today from Marble Falls ISD. The softball program is not going to field a junior varsity this year because they don't have enough players for both a varsity roster and a JV roster. So they sent a brand new schedule today. Today they start district against Cedar Park High at home at 6 o'clock, which was Tuesday. So that should tell you now where they are. Because if the trends are holding, where the upperclassmen in Marble Falls are leaving the program.
Well, excuse me, Llano has had that trouble with JV teams on and off in softball. I don't think quite as much in baseball. I will say, starting district, I guess you have, I don't know how many teams in district.
In District 25 5A, you've got 4 Leander schools: Cedar Park, Leander High, Leander Rouse, Leander Glen, both Georgetown schools, Georgetown High and Georgetown Eastview, and Liberty Hill, and then Marble Falls on top of that.
So what is that, 8?
Let's see, 4, 6, 7, 8.
Okay,
yes.
okay, that now I understand. Llano's district softball doesn't start till March 22nd, but we only have 5 schools in the district. Montopolis IID that I mentioned earlier is not will not have softball or baseball teams. They did have boys basketball. They didn't have girls basketball. So that gives Llano just 8 games, and with you there will be 14.
Yeah, because it's a
yes.
round robin.
Yes.
So
well,
and it will be a dogfight. No pun intended for those 4 playoff spots. So that's my point is, I'm hoping that with the drop, the Mustangs and Lady Mustangs will see an increase in participation. We will see. Obviously, that will be determined here with the numbers in the next several months. But I am hoping that that's what happens. You know, we got off on a tangent here. Do you want to do a quick basketball roundup for the listeners here of what's happened in the Highland Lakes region? Do you want to go first?
Well, I can tell you, beginning with Llano, both teams made the playoffs. The Jacket Boys, sort of an interesting situation. They go into the final week of the regular season needing a win over Ingram and a loss by Comfort against Lago Vista. And then Llano and Comfort would have tied for 3rd and had a seeding game to see which team got 3rd and which team got 4th. And the Jackets expected Comfort to lose. Well, they won 43-42, playing at home. And so that meant, and Llano did win its game against Ingram. So Comfort finished 3rd, Llano finished 4th. Both the boys and girls played San Antonio Cole. For the boys, Cole defending state champions and ranked 2nd in state to Dallas Madison this season, and won 76-45. The Cole girls weren't quite as good, but still awfully good, and they won 43-21 over the Llano girls. So 1 round and out. And of course, most of you know that Cole was the high school for Shaquille O'Neal in the late 1980s. In fact, that's when they won the basketball championship for boys the last time before last season.
Yeah.
And then the other schools in the Jackets district, Blanco is still playing, and it's the only one for the boys. And on the girls' side, I believe Lago Vista is the only one that's still playing.
All right. Well, for Burnett County, all of the basketball teams have been eliminated. The Lady Mustangs lost to New Braunfels Canyon in the first round of the playoffs. That they needed a late 3-pointer, literally hit the 3 at the horn to eliminate the Lady Mustangs 46-43. Boy, that will go down in history. And of course, New Braunfels Canyon lost in the 3rd round to Cedar Park High, which is on a 20-something game winning streak right now, currently, and that doesn't count the winning streak that dates back to last season. Cedar Park is the District 25 5A district champ in the same district as the Lady Mustangs. The Lady Dogs lost in the regional final to Hardin Jefferson. It was a 1-point or a 4-point halftime, and then Hardin Jefferson outscored them, took a 20-point lead after the 3rd quarter.
Gracious.
And just ended up winning that game, I believe, 64-39. the Burnett boys basketball team lost to Waco La Vega in the second round of the playoffs. I believe that was about a 15-point loss, 20-point loss there. But they had a tremendous run. They won the district championship, District 19 4A outright. Super happy for Coach Kaiser and that wonderful group of players. Best part for them, they only lose 2 seniors. Have just about everybody else back for that roster next season.
Coach Kaiser is certainly one of my favorites, and congratulations for the fine year. And he just seems like he's been there forever, succeeding Rodney McGee, the Reverend Rodney McGee, and dad of Stephen. And so I'm glad that Coach Kaiser's team did so well.
I do want to make mention, we have 2 private schools in the area. Let's start with Faith Academy. The Faith boys were ranked in the top 10 of the Class 2A private schools poll. They lost at home after winning the district championship, undefeated for the 3rd consecutive year. They lost at home in the second round of the playoffs, and the Lady Flames lost to the number 1 team in the state on the road in the first round to Hallettsville Sacred Heart. And then there you go. And then Smoking for Jesus won the Class 1A Texas Christian Athletic League state championship. It's their 3rd state title. They've won back-to-back state titles in football. Now they've won their 1st state basketball championship, and they're looking to do the same thing in track and field. So the big thing there as well, the rumor is that Smoking for Jesus is going to leave TCAL and go become a member of TAPS, which is the same athletic league that Faith Academy is in. So we will see how that turns out. I do know that there has been a gentleman agreement between Smoking for Jesus and Faith Academy to play a non-district football game in the fall of 2022. So looking forward to writing about all of that on TexasChalkTalk.com.